Testing. One, two, three. Is the audio working? Working. Zoom. Who's zooming who? After I stream tonight, I will be playing this. RoboCop, move it, creep. The name's Murphy. So I'm just chilling right now. There's my Eric. There was my Eric Bischoff doll. Look, it's a family. Welcome to back-to-back Earlverse. I'm going to, I'm still shucking and jiving on the Daddy Man Live in the Earlverse just in time for the new RFK Jr. sex scandal. Let me turn on, I'm unaware of any sex scandal. The greatest movie to feature a Ford Taurus. MSNBC doesn't have anything on it. Let's go to CNN. I don't have a producer. I got to do my own shit. I don't see any. Okay, let's go on Fox. Fox has their finger on the pulse. Springfield, Ohio residents on migrant surge. We'll go back to MSNBC. Yes, a Ford Taurus in the house. 9 people in here, but only 5 likes. Embarrassing. I'll end this stream right now. I don't know of any sex scandals. I've scanned the internet. Right now on MSNBC, they have a big black guy, governor's race. CNN report of inflammatory comments. RoboCop had Ford Taurus cars. What were they called in the movie? Didn't they have a name? Well, I mean, Zoom, when I'm trying to start a podcast stream and hopefully the sound is working and I got Lois coughing, it would help to have a producer here to, that My Pillow guy looks a little rough. Oh, he's on MSNBC. He must be turning on Trump. Yeah, but what were they called in the movie? Weren't they called like the Z-103 or something? Who knows? I've got to rewatch RoboCop. It's been a minute. I don't really have many memories of watching RoboCop 2 or RoboCop 3 with the great Robert John Burke and the well, we usually don't do Dabbleverse breaking news, but apparently for $5 I will. What am I, steel toe? ACDC 5150. Breaking news from TMZ Chad Zumach. Peter Chicken Man Brennan is a fireman married to Rachel Feinstein, comedian. Chad always gets the scoop. I don't think that's true, ACDC 5150, because the Chicken Man has a lot of comedy store knowledge. And I believe Rachel Feinstein is a East Coast comic. I don't believe that. You're right. Thank you, Zoom. Thank you. Hello, Gina Babina, a rare sighting of my moderator number 2. I don't think that's true. I don't know who the Chicken Man is. I don't wanna know who the Chicken Man is because it ruins the fun of it. Um, but he's West Coast for sure. He knows too much about the LA Comedy Store, scene to be East Coast. It would be like, uh, me being a mole for the Comedy Cellar, and I'm in Los Angeles. It wouldn't make sense because I don't know what's going on there. And no, I'm not passed at the Cellar, and, no, I haven't ever tried to be passed at the Comedy Cellar. Thank you very much, AC/DC, um, for your generous tip, and thank you to everyone yesterday for your generous tips. Queenon, Bert Perkins, and the others. Bert Perkins is more of a drive-by visitor. He's rarely in the stream, but when he comes in hot. So I don't know if you guys watched Survivor last night. Pretty good episode. It's the opening episode of I think season 47. Um, and Big Brother was also on last night. AEW Dynamite was also on last night. This, by the way, some tips apparently have not arrived. They have not, William Zoom. Check out this shirt. This shirt is like 32 years old, and it's held up. There's not a single hole in it. Sometimes when I bought a vintage shirt on eBay, it's got holes in it. It stinks. Um, but this shirt has held up here. Let me see. Let's point the camera down a little bit. So there's Yaromir Yager right there, Baby Earl. When I had a Jofa helmet, I would look just like that. They'd call me Baby Yager. Survivor's pretty good. Do you own any Cars merch? I think I have a few T-shirts. They're not vintage. I only saw the Cars once, and that was it 2012, I think, at the Palladium. It was 4 of the 5 members, of course, minus Benjamin Orr. And I thought it was cool that they didn't have a bass player on stage. They just had Greg Hawkes, the keyboard, player program Benjamin Orr's bass parts in, so you didn't because I'd seen the what was it, the new Cars with Todd Rundgren, and they had Todd Rundgren's longtime bass player from Utopia, Kasim Sultan, on bass. So that was kind of fun, but yeah, I mean, Live Aid, I think Judas Priest was on that. They did a killer version of Living After Midnight. I believe his bass parts, I don't know how Greg Hawkes did it. I'm speaking out of turn here in terms of the technological stuff, but I believe there was not a bass player playing behind the stage. I believe that because you could tell that Greg Hawkes, he had some type of computer keyboard as well. He was taking in the sound from that, I believe. I would think it would be hard to have a bass player behind stage because since that's the rhythm part of the show, you'd have to kind of be in step with the drummer. Now, the drummer, David Robinson, he sounds like a drum machine. He's so technically proficient that maybe you could get away with a bass player off stage, but I believe they just had Greg Hawkes program the bass parts into whatever he did. Great show. It's packed. I've never seen the Palladium that crowded because it was a big deal for the Cars to be back together, and I think I forget the name of the album they were promoting. I think it was Move Like This, which had like 3 or 4 good songs on it. Um, and, they were just like they were back in the heyday. It was a pretty stunning show, I remember, and they don't move around a lot. Elliot Easton still rips on guitar, so, yeah, Benjamin Orr was a legend. Probably one of the saddest things I've ever seen was that last interview the Cars did. They didn't get along very well, which is why they broke up, obviously. But I think they all knew Benjamin Orr was dying, so they got together. And Benjamin Orr, man, I'm as straight as you can get. Fuck, he was a good-looking guy, man. And I think he died like a week later. He was literally a skeleton, and you could tell they did it for him, which I thought was pretty cool. Bury the hatchet. Because it had to be a bummer for Benjamin Orr to be in the Cars, and everyone thought Rick Ocasek sang all the songs. And the truth is, Benjamin Orr sang a lot of the hits as well. Just What I Needed, Drive, and Bye Bye Love. So yeah, they do sound very similar, which is why I did not mind Todd Rundgren being picked to sing in the new Cars, which that band came about because I think Elliot Easton and Greg Hawkes wanted to, start touring again as the Cars, and I think Rick Ocasek didn't really want to tour. He's making tons of money producing like Weezer and stuff. And I think David Robinson, the drummer, was or is a successful restaurateur. So he probably was like, why do I want to travel and put up with that bullshit when I can just stay home and make the same money, if not more, running my restaurants? So I think they gave Elliot Easton and Greg Hawkes permission. So you can't call it the Cars. You can call it the new Cars. So they got Todd Rundgren on vocals, the great Kasim Sultan on bass, and Prairie Prince from the Tubes. So I saw them at the House of Blues. It was awesome. Um, so have I ever met Jean Beauvoir? Yes, William Zoom is correct. I did meet him. I gave him like 2 or 3. I think I mailed him 2 or 3 photos to send me back, and he never sent them back to me. But I got my revenge, as I always do, when Jean Beauvoir reached out to my girlfriend at the time, the great Shelley B, and wanted her to manage him. And she was like, yeah, as soon as you send my boyfriend's pictures back. Hello. You think I want revenge. Shelley was worse than me. I mean, she was a real pit bull when she had to be. And I don't mean the singer. Um, well, I think AC/DC sent me a bowling shirt or something of that nature to the Comedy Store, and I never got it. And the odds of someone stealing it are very low. I'm very well liked at the Comedy Store, so I really doubt someone stole it. But I mean, I don't picture Jean Beauvoir going to the post office and waiting in line. Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, that could be true. What up, Ryan? We're just doing a post birthday stream. Yeah, that's so weird, AC/DC. I looked at actually the other night. There's a big box where any comic that gets a gift or a package or a box in the manager's office, and I looked in it, nothing there. I thought, "Well, maybe it's fell um, behind, the where they had it, nothing." So, better ban the Doors or the Cars. Well, I never really saw the door. Oh, I didn't see the Doors. So I mean, I would go with the Cars. The Doors were just a smidge before my time. But it's funny you mentioned that. I was at a animal rescue event that was being held by Robbie Krieger at some big fancy ranch in Malibu. So it was his event, but Elliot Easton of the Cars was there, and he played a few songs, and then Robbie Krieger played. I want to say Elliot uh, played a song or two with Krieger. but that was a while ago, so I don't really remember. I just remember Elliot Easton was fronting his band, and each musician played like 3 or 4 songs, and you could tell he was uncomfortable being the lead singer or the lead, it's hard work being a lead singer, introing the songs and doing shtick with the crowd. You could tell Elliot Easton's just a straight musician. Um, they both had Shelbys. Boing. Yes, we both like to whip out our dicks at just random moments. Um, it would have been interesting to see what kind of music career Jim Morrison would have had if he would have lived. I would guess he would go out on his own. I mean, I think the Doors would have had a tough go at it in the 70s toward the later end of the decade with disco being big. That's like the polar opposite of what the Doors were about. And certainly with the 80s butt rock movement, which really started, Van Halen in the late 70s, mid 70s, and then bands in the early 80s like Quiet Riot, Motley Crue, Rat. Um, I can't imagine the Doors would have stuck through that era of life. Yeah, I mean, Jim Morrison was very cool, and I thought Val Kilmer did an amazing. Val Kilmer's such a good actor. You never really hear about Val Kilmer being a good actor, but I mean, I thought he killed it in the Doors movie. I thought he was great as John Holmes in Wonderland, which, by the way, episode 3 of the Wonderland Murders airs this Sunday night on MGM, and it's going to be interesting to see where they take it. What up, Dr. Chow, the Mega G? We have a Dabbleverse legend amongst ourselves. Yes, Val Kilmer, real genius. Val Kilmer, top secret. Just a little water here. And Val Kilmer was great in Heat. Like Minds, Queen on, like Minds. So, but you never really hear him brought up in terms of great actors of the last 20 years, but he certainly has a pretty nice resume. And unfortunately, he's pretty sick at the moment. So, he's top 100 actor. Yeah, I would say he's definitely in that. Um, Chris was the only one that got away. Yeah, I love Heat. Now, I hear they're doing a prequel to Heat. And I believe, if you believe the rumors, that Val Kilmer's son, who apparently looks like him, will play Val Kilmer. Um, it'll be interesting. There was the famous TV movie of Heat, LA Takedown, that was basically a test run for Heat with lesser known actors. Yeah, I mean, Val's almost like, I always say this about an actor who's good in everything. You can almost say he was like this generation's Gene Hackman. Like, Gene Hackman was good in anything. You could put him in a shitty movie and he'd save it. Um, well, the problem with a prequel to Heat is, I think Heat, as most Michael Mann movies are, they're geared towards, I would say, an audience of, you know, 40 to 65-year-olds. So I don't see young moviegoers, who are now raised on, um, the Fast and Furious type stuff, uh, the superhero movies. I don't see them caring about a prequel to Heat. Um, Heat. Well, I mean, who could. I mean, you could probably. I guess it would be interesting to see a young De Niro. I don't know who could play that. a young Tom Sizemore, a young you'd have be interesting to see who they got to play a young Danny Trejo. He's kind of an interesting, looking dude. Yeah, but the Point Break remake was horrible, man. It's as bad when you see, Heat on TV and you turn and you're all excited, and then you realize it's the Burt Reynolds Heat. Uh, what happens to his, character, Fred Quintana? Uh, yeah, I mean, it'd be I love casting, as you guys know, and, who could play a young Tom Noonan? Um, yeah, I mean, reboots suck because I tell you why, they don't capture the original charm of the movie. Like, if you look at, the new RoboCop, starring the great Jackie Earl Haley, I'm a fan of Jackie Earl Haley, um, but they lack the charm of, the original. The first Bad News Bears is fucking an awesome movie just because you could tell it was done for, no budget, and then you look at the Billy Bob Thornton one, it's like I think the great thing about the original Bad News Bears was you could tell none of those kids were really actors. I think most of them, not all, but most of them were cast because the casting director just went around to little league baseball fields and, this kid's fat, let's book him. This guy, that little Tanner Boyle guy, let's book him. I am not hyped for Happy Gilmore too. I don't really think that movie needs a sequel, Dr. Chow, to be honest with you. He was in Tom Sizemore is great, or was great, I should say. I mean, Tom Sizemore was even good in Lockup with Stallone. That's another under the radar Stallone movie, Lockup. You don't really hear about it. Who's Paige Spivak? I'm not familiar with her. Um, Now, if you told me Sydney Sweeney was in Happy Gilmore too, I'd be on board. Now, I wonder what they're going to do with Carl Weathers' character. That was a Bad News Bears 2 when they were on the way to Houston. And Bad News Bears 2, it's kind of like Rocky 2. It wasn't as good as the first one, but there's some really funny moments in Bad News Bears 2. Of course, the saddest part of Bad News Bears 2 is the original Engelbert, the catcher, he got fired in between 1 and 2 because he lost weight. That's Hollywood in a nutshell, where you take this young catcher who's obviously fat, that's why he was cast, he gets taller and loses weight, and, basically was told to beat it. What up, Rock on America? Any word on Benchwarmers too? Yeah, I don't. I actually, someone said they might be doing one. Who knows? Maybe I'll reprise my role as Outhouse Man, or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll say no, thank you. I've moved on. Um. But no, I would do it. I mean, it took like 6 hours to film. And that really got me an education on why so many movies lose money. I mean, that scene is maybe what, 5 to 6 seconds, and it literally took hours to film because the director, Dennis Dugan, who played the father in Can't Buy Me Love, if you like to, like, put names to faces, literally didn't like the way the throw up was hitting the porta potty door. Hours to film a 3-second scene. So can you imagine the money that's wasted on, say, a film like Avatar? Um, it's like Billy Bob from Varsity Blues. He worked until he lost weight, then died. Yeah. Carl Weathers will be typical hack and everything. Kevin Hart. Yeah, Kevin Hart's restaurants went out of business. What a shock. They were like vegan or something, and that I knew the one by Hollywood High was young kids don't want to eat vegan. They want the greasiest, sloppiest burgers you can find. they certainly don't care about eating healthy, unless it's one fat kid who's yeah, they, all went out of business apparently. I know the one by Hollywood High was never crowded, it really is. It got the biggest laugh in the movie. When I went to the premiere in Westwood at the Fox Theater, thank you very much. I went to the premiere just because I wanna see if my scene gets cut out, you never know. There's plenty of scenes from Benchwarmers that didn't make the cut, and, I went, and I gotta be honest with you, my scene got the biggest laugh in the movie. Thank you very much. I mean, I never ate there. Um, yeah, teens want just like a burger, Wendy. Carl's Jr. is too healthy for high schoolers. They want Mickey D's, uh, what's it, Sonic. It's weird. I see commercials for Sonic all the time. I don't think I've ever driven by one in LA. Well, I don't imagine the quality control at a Kevin Hart restaurant's very good. Um, DJ, we don't talk about Ray DeVito in here. This is you have to super chat for those. I've learned my lesson, you know, and we don't do inward towers in here either. So we got Gina Babina's here. She's ready to block. Um, I've never had an In-N-Out burger, if you can believe that. Never had one. Aren't they the square burgers, or is that Wendy's? Um, I mean, I try to avoid fast food. Of course, when I was doing stand-up comedy on the road a lot, you kind of have to eat fast food, your 12-hour drives and whatnot. Okay, thank you, William. Who was the most famous people from your high school? Mine was Jim Everett. My high school, Notre Dame High, actually had a fair amount of famous people, I believe. Remy Malek went to Notre Dame. Justin Vargas, if you like football. Um, Let me see. Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction. Jack McDowell, Cy Young award-winning baseball pitcher. I'm sure Dr. Chow knows who that is. Jamie Dixon. I think he's the head college basketball coach at the University of Pittsburgh. I believe, yes, that Remy Malik. I I think Heather Graham went to Notre Dame High, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I lived yes, Jamie Dixon, he was my classmate at my freshman year at Notre Dame High. I was in, 8th period basketball class. I was blown away that you could go to a prominent high school and get credit for a basketball class, and what a ragtag group of people in that class. You could tell all the seniors were just phoning it in. You had Jack McDowell in my class, Jamie Dixon, really no one else of note. And I remember the first day of high school. I'm super nervous because I didn't really know that many people at Notre Dame. I went to grade school in Beverly Hills, and I think maybe out of 800 or 1,000 people that were at Notre Dame, I think maybe 2 or 3 people from my grade school were there, not many, and so I didn't know anyone in this basketball class, so my first day, I'm really nervous, and after, the class ended, they, were doing pickup basketball, and I wanted to get out of that gym so bad and just go home. And then Jamie Dixon yells at me and goes, Skakel, you're on my team. And he, about halfway in the game, he threw me a pass, and I was at probably about the 3-point line, and like everyone stopped. And he yelled at me, shoot the fucking thing. So I shot it, and I shot an air ball by at least 3 feet. So let's just say I wasn't the receiver of another pass that day, and really for the rest of the year from the seniors. So yeah, he was a good guy. Very amazing high school basketball player. For a white guy, especially. Oh, and Nigel Miguel went to my high school. He was a very, I don't know, I don't know if I'd say famous, but a very well known. I think he went to UCLA after to play ball. Shows you how good he was. The Nigerian Nightmare, the original Nigerian Nightmare, Nigel Miguel. And let me see who else. I think the guitar player from Quiet Riot, Carlos Cavazo, he was always picking up someone there. He kind of had like the weird shaped mullet, and he had like a red Carmen Gia. So maybe his brother, not that his brother is famous, but like Stanton went there, but you don't like him. I don't. Giancarlo Stanton. No, I just. Yeah, I mean, he's probably the most famous baseball player. I got no problem with Stanton. Tim Foley for older. I don't think we have any older people in the stream, but I believe he was a shortstop for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm trying to think. We didn't really have a lot of famous football players outside of Justin Vargas, who his dad, Antonio Vargas, Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch, and the soccer coach in Up the Academy. Um, yeah, but it looked really cool with the guitar player from Quiet Riot pulling in a convertible. I'm trying to think who else. And this is kind of a weird. I don't necessarily know if I would say he was famous, but if you remember in the early '80s, there was that horrible story about Bloomingdale's call girl, Cynthia Morgan. I think it was Cindy Morgan. Her son Todd went to not only my Notre Dame High, but my grade school as well, and that was like a big murder case, you know, for my time. He was infamous, I guess you'd say, Todd Morgan. It was all dudes. It's kind of funny you bring that up, Dr. Chow. So I was a really good student my first year at Notre Dame, B's and A's. And then once I started taking harder classes, I struggled, to be honest with you. But first year, I was like a model student. The only negative was they really wanted me to play football because I joke about this, but I'm not joking. I was literally the same size since fourth grade. So for a freshman in high school, I was a fucking big kid. Probably in high school, I was 6'1", 190, and pretty jacked. Um, so that was like the only negative to my high school life was I wanted to play football, but my mom didn't want me to. So I ended up playing golf, but you know, the first year was all dudes. So I was such a good student that the dean calls me in at the end of the year to go, "Hey, Earl, what would you change differently about Notre Dame High? You're a good student. You never got one detention. What would you do differently?" I'm like, "Hey, man, Jerry All, Aull, was the dean's name at the time." I'm like, "Bro, you got to get some chicks in here, or otherwise you're gonna have a lot of." And I actually said the F word to him, piazzas. For those of you in the Dabbleverse freak show, um, and he looked at me like, "Huh?" And then, sure enough, the next year, Corvallis School of Girls closed down, and we got all the girls. Let me see. Who was the hottest girl at Notre Dame High? I actually remember her name was Julie McNutt, and typical 80s, like blonde, tan, like Notre Dame High. Wow. She was hot. And I think a few classes below me. So when I was like a junior, I think when I was a senior, she was a freshman. Julie Forte, who actually was Fabian, the 50s singer's daughter, and he was a good-looking guy, so, I mean, she was very good looking, uh, so she was 15 at the time, but, hey, I was 17. Hello. Um, did she have crimped hair, Earl? Julie McNutt, she did, actually. I mean, she was hot. And the funny thing is when I went to the must have been I think it was the 20th reunion. Might have been the 25th reunion. Like, I was not a great looking kid in high school, my teeth were fucked up, my hairstyle was I looked like a '70s sports reporter. I did not get a lot of puss. I mean, I pulled some girls, don't I mean, I had the hottest girlfriend sophomore year, but she went to another high school. Jenny Molina, I still talk to her. I mean, she was hot. But I at Notre Dame, I didn't really do that well with girls. So I struggled a little bit. But I still was a very popular guy at Notre Dame High. Blonde, Julie Forte was brunette. Yeah, I mean, what you guys see in '80s movies was the high school I went to. If Zoom, I know has seen The Wildlife. If you watch The Wildlife, um, oh, my friend's on MSNBC right now. That's funny. Um, it's weird to see someone on television. Um, Oh yeah, the Dabbleverse, doxing. You guys that's another someone just asked me, "Hey, you gotta get in on the Dabbleverse, talk about steel toe." I'm like, I'm good, man. Yeah, you had the jean jackets with the patches, you had the what was it, the not the Jan Sport book bags, Iron Maiden shirt, Judas Priest shirts were very popular, even if you didn't like them, there was cool like logo. Motorhead shirts were popular because of the logo. Did you enjoy Trump on Gutfeld last night? I didn't see it. So, I'm trying to get on Gutfeld. So we'll see what happens. Maybe you might see me on Gutfeld. And I don't think it helps you that much. Yeah, Jordache jeans, members only jackets. Orange Julius was a big hangout after. Um, I mean, I'm sure I could watch it on YouTube. I mean, I like Gutfeld because Gutfeld's got that Johnny Carson vibe of he's funnier when he bombs. He bombs a lot, and he's got a great writer on. I think Nick DiPaolo's a head writer, but Gutfeld has that likability of when he bombs. So yeah, I'll have to maybe I'll look that up on YouTube when I finish with this stream. Um, my friend Billy Corbin was on MSNBC today. He's a documentary extraordinary. He was the creator of the Cocaine Cowboys. So, yeah, the '80s were a great time. Yeah, roller skating. We had a roller skating rink that was a little more prevalent right before I went to high school. If you are familiar with the Los Angeles area, it was on the corner of Santa Monica and La Cienega called Flippers Roller Disco, which I believe was in the movie with Linda Blair and Jim Bray, Roller Boogie. Cher used to go there, Elton John. I mean, it was like a nightclub. Um, so I don't know if I'd say Trump relates to the common man. I mean, the common man better have a few zeros behind his bank account. Um, what's up, Earlverse? What up, Biggie 21? We're just chilling right now, just having a nice, friendly Earlverse post birthday stream. Earlverse. Xanadu's an interesting movie because it was such a bomb that it literally killed Michael Beck's career. I mean, he was riding high off the Warriors, and I thought Michael Beck's going to be a star. Like, he was so good in the Warriors. I mean, he was so good in the Warriors, they literally Thomas Wade, who was the white guy with the afro, he was like the original star of the movie. And then Michael Beck was so good in it that they decided to kill off Thomas Wade and make Michael Beck the feature. But am I? It wasn't Roller Boogie with Linda Blair and Jim Bray. I don't know why I remember his name. Dustin Rhodes. I think Dustin Rhodes likes AEW. I mean, a lot of the older guys like AEW because you don't really there's no house shows. So you just do your TV gig and you're free for the rest of the week. And yeah, I mean, definitely Dustin Rhodes Hall of Fame, Kamala Hall of Fame, Sid Hall. I mean, I'm assuming Sid's going to get in the Hall of Fame now. Now, the interesting thing with Sid is who puts him in because he really wasn't close with anyone. I mean, he wasn't close with Flair. I mean, I guess you could say Sting would put him in, but he's in AEW. Both Kamalas. Kamala, the politician, will probably get in before Kamala, the wrestler. Um, the one guy calling her Twin Peaks is funny as hell. Say, yeah, what's that? Oh, and Roller Boogie. It's been a while. I don't think I've seen Roller Boogie since I saw it in a theater. You know, that's one of those movies that, for whatever reason, it's not really popular on the streaming services. Um, so you know, it's a lot of people aren't aware of it. Jim Bray, what a let's you know, let me do my own research here. Let's pull up Jim Bray on Wikipedia. Let's see what happened to him. I mean, he's one of those guys. He might have been a one and done guy, to be honest with you, in terms of good looking guy. Born in Upland, California. I've played street hockey there. Um, at the time of his appearance in Roller Boogie, he had amassed 275 trophies. For what? Oh yeah, it's his only film appearance. Uh, he gave up a shot national at. It doesn't say what he was. Oh, he was a legit roller skater. Went to high school in '79. He won national titles at the age of 18. He gave up his amateur status. Just on but now let's go on the Roller Boogie side here. I shouldn't be doing this. Um, the film plot. Let's see who else was in Roller Boogie. Anyone of note? Stoney Jackson. Interesting. He's from the White Shadow, of course. He'd be a fun guy to have on Inappropriate Earl. MG Kelly, very famous Los Angeles DJ. Um, let's see here. Jim Bray made $20,000 for his appearance in the film. You got to kind of love that. That's how you do it. You just do one movie and then you just fucking quit the business. Maybe I should have done that. I wouldn't be so bitter. That's a great time in the era of you know, the late 70s. You know, pro skateboarding was big. You know, you had like the Dogtown Boys and Christian Assoy and Jim Gray from the Mike Tyson fights. I don't know what that is referencing. Um, yeah, roller skating was big. I mean, I'm telling you, Flipper's Roller Disco, like it was the hottest club in town. I mean, Cher would go there. I mean, it was wild. How did Sting survive some of the worst pro wrestling angles? You know, and he wasn't a great wrestler, to be honest with you, Sting. You know, he was green. You know, obviously he was a body wrestler. Like he was in the ring because of his body. He had a great look, the bleach blonde hair, and then he hit the perfect timing with the neon. Um, I'm assuming you can find Roller Boogie somewhere. That would be very nostalgialistic. Gene Simmons used to bang everybody. And in their prime, he was Tommy Lee before Tommy Lee. Like, he got Diana Ross in her prime, Cher in her prime. Shout out to Tommy Lee for banging all those hot girls in their absolute physical prime. Heather Locklear, Carmen Electra, all those hoes. Was Roller Boogie on TCM last week? What's TCM? Is that another channel I have to subscribe to? I got to subscribe to Peacock so I can watch Tulsa King and the 80s metal documentary. Hit the like button if you have not done so already. Let me see what else, if there's any. Turner Classic Movies. That's crazy. Let's see if there's any filming in Venice Boardwalks, Marina Del Rey Skate Park, Beverly Hills, Stardust Ballroom in Hollywood. Man, that movie cost $1.5 million to film. That's a lot of money for back then. Uh, let's see, soundtrack, disco. Let's see what the soundtrack was. Cher, Johnny Cool Rock, Mavis, Vegas, Davis, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Ron Green, Cheeks, Bob Esty. I don't know who any of these people are. Box office. Now let's see how the box office did for Roller Boogie. I'm just reading from Wikipedia. Roller Boogie was promoted with a lengthy trailer in the autumn of '79 before premiering at the U.S. theaters in December of 19. The film was released in 500 theaters by United Artists. The initial ticket sales were not as high as the film's producers anticipated. It went on to gross $13.2 million at the box office. Initially, Compass Pictures planned on a sequel for Roller Boogie, but probably due to the end of the disco era, the idea was scrapped. Yeah, I don't think a sequel to Roller Boogie was really needed. Well, I heard. Well, I mean, I gotta pay for uh, Peacock anyway, ACDC, because I want to watch Tulsa King. But I have seen episodes of the metal documentary on YouTube. So, Kimberly Beck did Full Frontal in another movie. It's totally worth watching. I don't remember Kimberly Beck. Let me look up Kimberly Beck real fast. Um, Now this is what I wish I had a producer for, because then I could, pull up her picture, and I don't. I hope she's alive. She's best known for her role in Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. She's in Independence Day. I don't remember. Let's see what the last thing she's done. Heidi for Pause, a voiceover role. BJ and the Bear. Damn, she was. She had a lot of TV credits. Let me see. It's not. Her picture's not on Wikipedia. Kimberly Beck. Oh wow, wow, she was hot. Oh my god, wow, she was really hot. Um, Damn, good for her. I don't really remember her, but very pretty lady. She looks familiar to me. Let me go back to her Wikipedia. I know her from something. She was in something that I've seen. Let me go back to those TV shows. Yeah. Let me look at her movies. Man, Messenger of Death. Whoops, Messenger of Death. That looks like Charles Bronson, of course. The Monsters. The Brady Bunch. Eight is Enough. Zuma Beach. I was actually in Zuma Beach. Wow, we were in a movie together. Zuma Beach. That's the movie. If it's the same Zuma Beach with Suzanne Summers. Yes, it was. I was in the movie Zuma Beach. I was a kid on a beach scene. I did not get credit. So you perverts, don't be looking for me on Zuma Beach. I was a little baby Earl. BJ McKay, and this is his best friend Bear, who's providing my palace. I'm off to Dallas. New dreams and women too. BJ McKay, and this is his best friend Bear. So we don't talk about the Dabbleverse in here, Queen, on Zumont Beach. Get out of town. I don't remember. I actually think I was on the beach, and some casting director just said, "Hey, do you want to be in this scene?" I didn't even sign anything. It was the 70s. They didn't give a fuck. I think my dad was sunbathing, so he didn't care. But my dad also, I think Larry banged her at the Regal Beagle. Oh, well, I like Tulsa King this season. I haven't seen it yet, but I believe my one of my favorite character actor. He's not really a character actor. He's because he's been the lead in some things. The great Frank Grillo, who is in one of my favorite, absolutely favorite one hit, one season wonder TV shows, Blind Justice, about a street cop who was blind but still got to carry a gun. What the fuck? Uh, I saw him at the gym once. I'm like, hey, I loved you in Blind Justice. He's like, I don't want to talk about it. In a nice way, though. Yes, we've got Kip Smith and Gina Babina patrolling the chat rooms for anyone trying to do inward towers. I mean, you guys are out of control on where we get some trolls in here. We don't get a lot of trolls, but we get a few. We get a few Dabbleverse freakers in here, and that's fine. That's all right, Gina. It's a nice, friendly stream in here tonight. Uh, But I recall Zuma Beach being filmed in Santa Monica. Speaking of nice, let me thank the tippers tonight. Thank you, ACDC 5150. Appreciate it. Um, I've been to the real Zuma Beach surfing with Reb Brown and my two brothers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm lying there. I never surfed with Reb Brown from Big. He played the enforcer in Big Wednesday. Maybe I should just start a stream where I'm playing college football 2025. I can't imagine that being very fun. And what indie wrestling is there in Southern California? Well, there's a lot. There's GCW, there's XPW, there's PWG, which is Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. That's where Ricochet started. Now he's in AEW, killing it. Um, Agreed, William Zoom. Agreed. I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of independent wrestling organizations that I don't know of, but those are the big three. GCW is really cool. They have, it's like shows every 3 months at the Ukrainian Cultural Center. I mean, I saw Joey Janela, the bad boy Joey Janela, against Andrade once. Amazing match. I know the Nemeth brothers have been there. And yes, I've seen the footage from my XPW comedy show that will be included in the special. It's pretty funny. Like I'm bombing, but like I'm still doing better than most any comic on the planet. Trust me on that one. Any other comic would have left the stage after the first joke bombed. Not me. Which territory in California or overall? I mean, I would say the best territories in the '80s. You had world class championship wrestling. You had Mid South, which is where Kamala started. You had the Florida territory. I forget what it was called. You had the Portland territory where Piper came from. The Saskatchewan territory where you had the Hearts, Bad News Brown, like an amazing group there. Minnesota, Vern Gagne, Greg Gagne. Obviously, you had the WWE or WWF in New York. You had Georgia Championship Wrestling back in the day. Um, so, I mean, I would say the best. I mean, really, if you look at the talent that was in world class championship wrestling, you had the Von Erichs, you had Ric Flair, but Flair moved around a lot. But you had some great few. You had Kamala after Mid South. You had the Ultimate Warrior when he was the Dingo Warrior. You had Scott Hall when he was the Diamond Stud. I think Kevin Nash was in World Class Championship Wrestling for a second. You had Iceman King Parsons, you had Colonel De Beers, you had Abdullah the Butcher, you had Sheik Adnan Al Casey. Uh, well, I don't like bombing, and I actually have told the documentary maker, uh, Pistol Pete Lazarus, an award-winning documentary maker. He's like, "I wanna film you everywhere. I wanna fill you at the shitholes, to show the journey," and then, that's where the only not arguing we've had, but the only, I get why he wants to see it because it's funny, but, I don't wanna be seen bombing at XPW. Like, when you see the XPW footage eventually on the special, and especially people who don't know me, it's going, I don't want people going, "This guy sucks." But if you really understand comedy and the fact that I had the balls to do comedy at an XPW show, this guy's pretty good. Like, I'm getting laughs, but it's not a lot, to be honest with you. Um, I mean, you never know, Kip. I mean, listen, anything's on the table with me. I believe he was Vinny Vegas. I mean, let me once again, if I had a producer, I could say, "Hey Joey, pull up World Class Championship Wrestling," but I'll do it myself. Fuck it, World Class. All right, let's pull up their Wikipedia. I mean, they had now the problem back then was, a lot of guys moved around. So Ric Flair wasn't technically, he wrestled Mid South. Let's see if they just list a bunch of alumni from World Class. Otherwise, man, this is a big fucking Wikipedia page. Okay, they do. Thank God. So here are some of the wrestlers that were in World Class Championship Wrestling: Abdullah the Butcher, Andre the Giant, Bam Bam Bigelow, Billy Jack Haynes, Black Bart, Bobby Eaton, Brickhouse Brown, Bruiser Brody, Brutus Beefcake, Buddy Roberts, Playboy Buddy Rose, Butch Reed, Buzz Sawyer, Big John Studd. I mean, just that alone is impressive. Chavo Guerrero, the Gentleman, Chris Adams, obviously the Von Erichs. Uh, the Dingo Warrior, aka the Ultimate Warrior, aka James Hellwig, Gary Hart, my favorite manager of all time, handsome Gino Hernandez, the great Kabuki, Harley Race, Jake Roberts, Jeff Jarrett, Jerry the King Lawler. I mean, I could go on and Wahoo McDaniel, Tony Atlas, the Barbarian. I mean, that's a lot of fucking great wrestlers. Ted Arcidi, Terry Funk, Terry Taylor, Steven Regal, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, Stan Stasiak, Stan the Man, Stan Hansen, Shawn Michaels. Let me see. The Missing Link, Missy Hyatt, uh, Nord the Barbarian, the Percy Pringle, who later would become Paul Bearer, Rick Rude. So, I mean, that's a pretty impressive group. Now, let's go to Mid South Wrestling. And you could throw in Kamala as well. He was in World Class Championship Wrestling. Now, let's go Mid South Wrestling. Yes, everywhere at Earl Skakel. The Universal Wrestling. Uh, okay. Universal UWF. Let's see who was in UWF. I mean, my God. Really a lot of the NWA, Mid South. I mean, really a lot of the same guys. Chris Adams, Tony Atlas, Black Bart. Tully Blanchard, Nick Bockwinkel, King Kong Bundy, Jim Cornette as a manager, Shane Douglas, Jim Duggan, Bobby Eaton, Ric Flair, the Grappler and Grappler 2, gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. I mean, Terry Bam Bam Gordy. So you have the Freebirds, Super Destroyer, Magnum TA, Hollywood John Tatum, who I had seen. Who did I see Hollywood John Tatum? World Class Champion, Universe UWF, USWA, Global GWF. Yeah, I think I saw him in GWF, which was, I believe, um, where was yeah, it was I think it was a California-based um, promotion. Is Hollywood John Tatum still alive? He was great. Um, should be more known than he is. No, he's still alive. There we go. 6'2", 233 pounds. So a lot of these guys, so I'm going down a Wikipedia rabbit hole. Yeah, DDT, the like button, that's a lot of people in here for me. 20 people, 37 likes. If you build it, they will come. And obviously, hit the like, subscribe, and notification button on YouTube. I mean, YouTube is really where I'm concentrating the most energy, obviously. And, I can't do, 2 to 5 hour streams like Kevin and Melton and John from Win by Two. I don't. I messaged Win by Two the other day. I said, dude, I don't know how you do 5 hour streams. I mean, I listened to a Win by Two show the other day, and I fell asleep. I don't know, about 40 minutes in. Not because it was boring, just because I like to listen to podcasts while I'm sleeping or while I'm about to sleep. And I woke up like 4 hours later, and he was still going. Like I can't do that. So ETA, thank you, Ben Jones. Ben Bones Jones. Um, thank you, ACDC, for letting me know that. ETA on the comedy special. Really, I mean, we've got probably workable 25 to 30 hours of the documentary. I mean, we've probably filmed in the last almost 2 years now, 100 hours of me being interviewed, walking around at open mics, at the XPW show. And we now just have to find a venue that's right for the angle of the special, because I've backed myself into somewhat of a corner because I can't really just do it in a regular theater now, because in all the footage that you will see, I've said I don't want to film it at a regular theater and just look like everyone else's special. So, like I said, I was thinking about Aviator Nation in Venice, but they have not gotten back to me. Their Malibu location does do comedy shows, but I don't know if I can get 200 people to drive to Malibu. I can barely get people to come to the fucking Comedy Store, let alone drive to Malibu. So, it's really just fun. The living room show is still on the table. Um, you know, uh, it'd be different. I mean, there have been some specials, like Maria Bamford filmed one of her specials in her house, talking to her mom, talking to her parents on her couch. And I was made aware by Chandler of fuck, I forget the comic's name. Uh, who did his whole Bo Burnham. He did his whole special in his house. Like he would move to the garage, do a couple jokes, move to the living room. I was really it was really good too. Now he's got the musical chops of doing songs and shit that I don't have. So, um, well, I like a lot of the podcast, like John DiCaprio from Win by Two. He has a semi-deep voice. It's not quite as deep as mine, but it's very soothing. And Melton, I wouldn't say he has a soothing voice, but like I just and Kevin is too amped up for me to sleep to, but you know and well, I mean so I just like to I need voices. I don't need white noise like a wave machine. I need to hear voices. What up, Ross Incognito? I mean, there's been some other funny ideas, or my friend Troy. Oh, we won't say his last name. Maybe he doesn't want people. Troy Dillinger. Fuck it. He was like, "Why don't you just take a mic, start walking on Sunset, going up to people in restaurants who are eating, do a joke, move to the next restaurant, go to the bus stop, do a joke there, like Earl on the Strip. I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, I want people to stay for the jokes. I don't know if I'm going to get a lot of laughs in that type of thing, but a party bus. I have done comedy on a bus. It was interesting. Um, Pick up some hookers on Figueroa. No, thank you. Just lip sync in between rooms. I mean, O'Neill wants me to go down to Skid Row in a Shark Tank and do jokes to the homeless. Are you banned from XPW shows? No, I'm good. XPW loves me. I'm banned from the Belly Room on Tuesday nights during Roast Battle. Ironic. I helped start the fucking show. But let's not talk about that tonight. I'm in too good of a mood. XPW does love Earl. And I love XPW. They've been very good to me. I do your special in a ghetto Newport. Jesus, I don't know about that, ACDC. Like, see, I'm done. I think one thing non-comics don't understand is I don't want to battle a crowd anymore. Like, to you guys, it would be fun to see me in an all-black room bombing. Oh my God, this is the greatest special ever. I don't want that. I want to be in a room full of people that think I'm funny. Who's the most famous person's number you have in your phone? Rob Schneider. And Russell Peters. Maybe you can convince the woman at Kookaburra Lounge to let you do it there. Yeah, I'm good. I'm thank you though. I mean, I've got the ability, like at the XPW show, when you see some of the footage, I mean, 5 seconds in, a guy's going Heil Hitler, and I nailed him. Um, I'm like, sir, I'm Jewish. Don't ever wave at me like that. And got a big laugh. I mean, not a big laugh, but it got a laugh. Uh, you know, Maybe I do it at the Cobra Hotel, but that I don't think they'd let me set up a camera crew and whatnot. Uh, uh, well, I did show my dick pic once at the Comedy Store to a table full of black dudes, and the one guy's like, "Shit, you one of us." He's a big time Republican. Yeah, he's big. He really went wackadoony on the Trump stuff. How is the Ice House? It's a great club. I don't think the new booker thinks I'm funny, so that's a stumbling block. But Hinchcliffe did a special there. I think a few other specials have been done there. So I don't want to do a special where everyone else has done a special. Like even at the Comedy Store, there's been a lot of specials done there recently. Like I think Jay Larson just released his. The great Sarah Tiana put out a special there. Tim Dillon. Hey, can we get to 40 likes? I don't ask you guys much, but it'd just be cool to see 40 in doesn't Jeannie Buss own the Ice House? Well, I think thank you very much. Whoever was the 40th like, you have good karma for the rest of the weekend. I think Jim Buss runs it, but Jeannie might own it, but Jim runs it. Last time I was there, Jim Buss was like, I don't think he knew who I was, which is no big shock, but he's like, yeah, I don't want to turn this place into the Comedy Store. And I just looked at him like, oh yeah, sold out every night. Maybe that's another reason I've been asked back. Uh, no, I love Rob Stein. I don't care about people's politics. I like everyone in here. You guys can tell me you all support Kamala. It's fine. Or Kamala. I'm still practicing. You guys can tell me you all support Trump. I don't really care. You don't have a good enough 3-part shot to impress the booker. I mean, listen, I've seen the Ice House lineups. If you don't think I'm funny enough to play after some of the people I've seen on the lineups, then hey, fuck it. Get in. But I don't want to film it there. The real debate today is Cody or Roman. Cody Rhodes, Chili Bates. It's been a fun stream. We haven't really talked about anything in particular. Who aimed higher, Moore or Triple H? Both. The Comedy Store is magical. Only been once. But I mean, I would love in my, if the Comedy Store said, "Hey, we won't charge you. You can do whatever you want." I would love to film the special at 2 a.m. I would love to, okay, you bring up the next you say bring up Brian Holtzman, he does an hour or whatever. There's 7 people left in the room, and then my special starts, and then hopefully people just get let in, and by the end of the special, it's packed. I kinda pitched that, after my 2nd roast battle on television, 1st roast battle in Montreal against Tom Ballard. I had a bunch of Comedy Central executives come up to me and like, "Who are you? We'd love to work with you," yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, "Well, I got an idea for a special." And it's like, I'm known for going on late night at the Comedy Store. I'd love to do a special like 1:30 in the morning in front of like 10 drunks. And the main guy is like, yeah, I don't think our fans are that smart. Which cougar would Earl marry? Film it at the Comedy Store parking lot. Ben Jones, it's funny you say that. I thought about that. I thought, well, okay, I don't want to film it in the main room or the OR because Ari Shaffir, Gerard Carmichael, many comics have filmed their specials inside the Comedy Store. But how about outside? But then you'd have to shut down the club, and that's where the money like, "Okay, Earl, on Friday night, we make a gross of $75,000, so if you wanna shut down the club on Friday night, it's gonna cost you $75,000," and that's just renting the club out, and then you've got a stage, you gotta build and a stage production cost, and then the sound outside, with cars and airplanes and all that stuff. And knowing my luck, it would probably fucking rain on the night we were doing it. Earl, you see Kreischer make a dildo out of himself interviewing Dana White. I did not. I don't watch anyone's shows, to be honest with you. Felix W. Do you like old time comedy like Fred Allen and Bankhead, Golden Age of comedy? I don't. Uh, I like Red Fox and like Foster Brooks, that kind of. So I guess I do. How's the Chargers Steelers contest going to go? Well, I think it's in Pittsburgh. They finally got a fucking home game. Um, I mean, that Steeler defense is fucking brutal, man. And I mean that in a good way. But the offense is a little rough, to be honest with you. I mean, that's gotta be a tight game. It's definitely not gonna be a blowout. I mean, I could see it being like 2017 Pittsburgh. I mean, if it was in LA, I'd say 2017 Chargers. I do get to watch it on CBS, so do it at a Trump rally, film it at a strip club. That's an option. Call it giggles and jiggles. Hello. Have you talked about Tua's concussion? Should he quit? I have not, and I think he should. I mean, it's just, uh, these guys make a lot of money, but that's the great equalizer about our bodies. Whether you make $200 million, $100 million, or you're working a minimum wage job, your brain is your brain, man. And Tua's going to end up like fucking Derek Bugard, and it's no joke. If you really read into what a concussion is, man, it's pretty fucking hard. Like your brain is literally bouncing inside of your head and it swells up and there's nowhere for it to go. And it's just, like I think his last contract signed was guaranteed 200 mil. So like he's good with money. Like you don't got to play anymore. Get a job as a coach or something. But he's so young and you grow up playing, football at Alabama, like, you know, it's in your blood to play, not watch. So I hope, if he has a good agent and a manager who are honest and good people, they'll say, "Hey, man, it's time." Uh, Film it, an Asian rub and tug. Uh, yes, I think he should quit. I was at the game in Cincinnati when Tua got knocked out. That was pretty tough to watch. I don't recall Night Ranger doing it. I definitely recall Dawkins. Um, oh, okay. I thought it was 200 million, but I mean 93 million plus whatever he's made already. You got to figure he's probably worth 150 million, but you take out all the agents and managers cuts and taxes. He's probably got 100 million in the bank, tax-free and clear. You gotta be a real moron to blow that money, but it is possible. Like, they say Mike Tyson blew $400 million. Like, that's insane. So, I don't know. I mean, like, 100 million to me, I could live on that. Uh, so what about the, I mean, yeah, I mean, but yeah, there's options like the Roosevelt Hotel would be good. Uh, oh, I mean, when I played football in grade school, now you got to understand, we played at my grade school tackle football. And I can't tell you how many fucking times I probably had a concussion because like I said, I've been this size for the most part since 4th grade. And so every play was basically throw Earl the ball and watch people try and tackle him. And I would be dragging like 4 people with me. And there were times where I banged my head against the cement, just like this is the cement, and it would fucking go like that. And I was a little wobbly. Um, and, I probably had a concussion or 2 in my life, but just didn't know about it. So, um, yeah, but he's back. Damar Hamlin's back. Yeah, well, the problem with Tyson was he had like a fucking group of, like, you look at the Buster Douglas fight when he walked to the ring, he had like 20 fucking people behind him, and none of them were trainers. I mean, that's why I like Tyler, the Creator. He has 0 posse. He's got his best friend Lionel. And that's it. And Lionel's busy now on the Hulu show The Bear. So Tyler probably like literally is like Schwarzenegger's unit in Predator. He works alone. Uh yeah, Dr. Nova, that's not a bad question. Where's Peter Chicken Man Brennan now that Dr. Nova's in the house? Uh so yes, I was William Zoom. Do the special outside of Jeff Ross's house would be a hit. That would be funny if I rented the house right by Jeff. And I know where he lives. But I'm gonna hopefully be as far away from Jeff as I can when I'm filming the special. But let's not talk about that. It's been a nice, positive stream, and let's just leave it at that. Hey, let's get to 50 likes. I know there's 9 people listening who haven't hit the like button yet. Let's blow it out and just fucking get an all-timer in here. Did you have a good birthday? I did. It was very mellow. Um, Usually I have a spot on my birthday, but since Tuesday night is roast battle night, I think the booker likes to keep me and Jeff apart. She hasn't told me that, but I don't think that's a coincidence either. Uh, Jeff Ross. What if you saw Jeff Ross presents the Earl Skakel special? Woo! I mean, that is like Vinnie Vincent getting back into Kiss. It ain't happening. Um, what about at a cemetery? That would be pretty funny. Hollywood Forever, they do TV, they do movie nights at Hollywood Forever. Maybe there, but it's real tricky when you film outside. I mean, the sound has to be outrageous. Like, you really have to, like, it's tough to film outside. You should perform where a Kobe Chopper went down. Are you trying to get me canceled? By the way, I went on the Jesse Lee Peterson podcast. If you guys, since you guys like the Dabbleverse, he's basically like a black Alex Stein. So, um, I mean, he's a real provocateur, if you know what I'm saying. Yes, that is Zoom. I mean, but like an interesting place, to film. Just I want people to be. Jesse Lee's, he's a provocateur. I mean, there was a few times I thought maybe I should stop this podcast because he's troll. He's a troll, and I didn't really know a lot about him. So, he kept asking me uh, if I like white people, and stuff like that. So, and why are black people so angry? And I'm like, no, black Alex Stein. Yeah, Jesse goes hard in the paint, but I think it was a pretty good interview. Um, he kept asking me before the interview, watch. Here's an episode with me and Jamie Kennedy. Watch it so you know what you're getting yourself into. And I didn't. And I'm like 10 minutes in, I'm like, I'm gonna get canceled, man. I mean, I'm trying to like give the most politically correct answers because Jesse's like trolling me to say something racist. And I'm like, I like all people, Jesse. And he's like, but why don't you like black people? I'm like, I like all people. And he kept going, but you don't like black people, right? I'm like, come on, man. Um, oh, hello, Dr. Nova coming in hot. Is that Dave Taylor, Dr. Nova? Are you Dave Taylor? Uh, well, I mean, I'm just saying, 50K is that. I listen. I mean, I could film a comedy special right now on a like Hinchcliffe, a one shot 4K camera for probably 5 grand and under. But I want it to look different. I want it to I'm hiring a full camera crew, a full sound crew, a full lighting crew, and the shit's not cheap. And uh where they shot down. What are you, Alex Stein Queen on? You think Kobe's helicopter was shot down? Hit the like button. I see a few new people just came in. We're trying to get to 50 likes. I don't ask you guys for much. But I am noticing a nice crowd in here. 20 people for me is a lot of people. 41 likes is probably one of the top liked streams I've ever done. Film. Maybe I'll just take a truck ride down the JFK assassination route and see what happens. So we'll go another 10 minutes. We'll go to 1 hour and 30 minutes. I don't think the hog can grow anymore, animal mother, but I appreciate it. Let's just say I have a high return rate. Of course, they don't all come back, but I'm not a miracle worker. Yeah, I mean, there's yeah, I mean, that's an option, William. I mean, I could go to USC film school, I could go to UCLA film school and just have a bunch of interns do it. Yes, Ben Jones. I fell out of touch with the streams just because I got a little discouraged with the turnout, but and I know the way I'm streaming, I'm last to the party. Like I said, I think I've calculated it many times. You've got Melton, I think, does one at 6 a.m. Then Shuli's on at about the same time. Then you got Chad on, and then you got MLC, and then you've got Ray on, and then whoever else. So I'm last to the party, and I'm at some point you guys get burnt out on. Even people in the Dabbleverse get burnt out on. Okay, I don't want to talk about steel toe anymore or whatever. So I try and not talk about that to give you guys a fresh stream of bullshit, of wrestling, my grievances in comedy and whatnot. So, well, you're one of the few, Chili Boots. Like, I know a lot of people in here right now are in the Dabbleverse to some degree, and I get it. I don't hate the Dabbleverse. I listen to most of the podcasts and the streams, I guess you'd call them. And, I just, it's a dead horse. Like, I have nothing to add to it. If I thought I could add something to it, I absolutely would probably get into it because of my roasting background. Yes, maybe I could film it on the bridge at Chappaquiddick. Hello. Ben Jones, what do I like better, wrestling or hockey? That's a tough one. I mean, I'm excited hockey's back. Of course, opening day of King's training camp was today, and I had some friends there sending me pictures of a little, not necessarily a fight, but the new tough guy on the Kings, Tanner Janot, was causing a ruckus, if you will, with new Edmonton Oiler Warren Fogle, so that'll be interesting to see how they get along during the season. Hit the like button. I see some new numbers coming in. We're trying to get to 50 likes in the next 5 minutes. Uh, do your special with the Haitian immigrants. Yeah, and we could have you could bring your dogs and cats. Boing. Um, I mean, listen, anything is on the table with me with this special. Um, someone gave me the idea of why don't you go to Stanhope's compound in Bisbee? Yeah, but then who's going to watch it? I can't get friends of mine. I can't get people to come to the Comedy Store most nights. Think I'm going to get them to go to Bisbee, Arizona? Uh, who is Rachel? I don't know who that is. I have performed at the Comedy Store in La Jolla. Yeah, I think old white conservatives would be. Um, that's an option, Red Band's Place, and it's a bar, but it's packed. I don't know if I necessarily would want to do it there because of the acoustics. It's a great room, but I don't know about the acoustics. It's going to be on Laserdisc, Ross. Hello. So that's an idea. I could do it at the Stand in New York, but I don't I know a lot of comics in New York, but I don't know a lot of non-comics in New York. So I want to pack it. I want it to be so grossly overpacked that, it's like an energy like ECW style. So um I mean, listen, I every day I wake up, I think about it, and then I go to sleep, and I go to sleep thinking about how to make this special. Or Earl, how about a nursing home with a bunch of horny 90-year-olds? I mean, anything is possible. Hey, we're up to 48 likes. We just might get to 50 likes in the next 4 minutes. 49 likes. We're killing it, as Kevin Brennan would say. We're killing it. That's a fact. Now I'm talking like Kevin. Um, It's the LA Coliseum still around. Yes, that is, yeah, that's where the USC Trojans play football. We get 50 likes. Earl at the Apollo. Apollo Creed. Hello. Boing, 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 boing. Somewhere in LA would be good because your comedy and content is so LA focused. 100%. 51 likes. We're killing it. That's a fact, Jack. Maybe at a mansion in Bel Air. I did do a comedy show once that was at a mansion in Bel Air, and some guy turned his living room into a comedy club, and the kitchen was the green room, and it was a really fun show. 52 likes. Maybe this is the right time to do the stream. Who has the more impressive hog, Don Barris or Robert William Eprovaya? I don't know. Kevin Chicken Man Brennan, aka Dr. Nova. So we might get to 60 likes. We're killing it. That's a fact, Jack. So listen, all avenues and venues are on the table. It's funny you say that, William. I actually looked into the Studs Theater the other day when I was walking Lois, and it's completely boarded up. There's no there's no like a realtor sign in there. Like it's wait, did someone just take away a like? We were at 56 likes and someone took away their like. That's unacceptable. Who is the funniest fat comic ever? Ralphie May. Definitely Ralphie May. Rest in peace, Ralphie. I still can't believe a guy who was 600 pounds died of a heart attack. Boing. So, and I almost didn't stream tonight. Look at that. I will fly out and help you. I mean, anything's on, like I said, anything's on the table, William. In fairness, I'm more of a pork man than a chicken man. Pork man. That would be funny if there was another person in the stream called Kevin Porkman Brennan. Filming in front of a homeless crowd. You can pay them. Well, Queen on, that's Ryan O'Neal's idea. He wants me to go to Skid Row in a shark tank and do jokes to homeless people, but I don't know how that would look to people who don't know much about me. They'd be like, "This guy's making fun of the homeless." I absolutely am. Boing. Um, so, listen, I have thought about this. Um, I mean, at this point, the shooting the comedies, that's going to be the easiest thing. I can do an hour in my sleep. My Thai lady is a wild hog. Boing, 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 boing. Out of control. Venice Beach, like, once again, though, it's so noisy down there. And, um, you got the ocean in the background. Funniest fat comic, Ollie Joe. That's a deep cut, Dr. Nova. A real deep cut. Hey, hit the like button if you have not done so already. Liberals would cancel you, or they're definitely going to cancel me after the Jesse Lee Peterson show. I mean, woo! Your friends from the Crips might come see you. I mean, I do have some friends of mine who are in a motorcycle club that will be running security that night for the comedy special. I know a few Bloods too. Um, well, he wasn't really a comic. He was more of a comic actor. John Candy, which is ironic. He was fat and his last name was Candy. Boing! I just wrote a joke there. Trying to take care of you guys. Do it in front of Nicole Brown's old place. Son of Billy Wagner coming in hot. Son of Billy Wagner, hit the like button. Let's get to 60 likes and then we'll call it a stream. You scream, I stream, we all stream. Like I said, I mean, I have a list of about 100 places. It's okay. How realistic is this place, this place, this place? And the problem is, since some of my jokes are a little out there, a little wacky, a little wackadoony, that a lot of people don't want to be associated with the special. Like Aviator Nation in Venice. I'm assuming they probably looked up my set on YouTube or whatever and was like, yowza. With the Rainbow or Roxy do it. I wouldn't want to do it at the Rainbow because there's really not a great performance venue there. I mean, the Roxy, I don't know if I could fill a 300-person room. If I could fill it with 300 people, I'd probably do it at the Whiskey. I mean, that would be pretty cool to shoot the first ever comedy special at the Whiskey A Go-Go. That is appealing to me. But we'll see what happens. Anything's on the table. Of course, if I get a new cartoon or a new TV gig, it boosts my following a little bit. Who knows? So, I mean, the Viper Room is not a great performance room for stand-up because I've been there many a show, and there's like 2 or 3 beams in the middle of the room. So, for the audience, it would not be a very good show, and it'd probably be a tough show to film with the beams in the way. I mean, it's an option, but it's not an option that is high up on my list at the moment. But you never say never. I mean, like I said, I'm looking at every venue in LA. Well, I could walk to it. That would be the great thing. Filmed at the Hollywood Bowl. I don't think I could fill the Hollywood Bowl right now, but maybe one day. Hopefully one day we can remember a stream where I was excited to have 22 people and 56 likes. And then you fast forward to, oh my God, I'm playing the Hollywood Bowl tonight. This is fucking cool. The Viper Room might be gone sooner than later. There's a big construction project that the city of West Hollywood is wrestling with. Do it in a trailer park with redneck hillbillies. Well, anything's on the table. All right, you guys, this has been Thursday night in the Earlverse. We'll probably do a stream tomorrow night after yoga. And you should put on assless leather chaps for the special. That's a no-brainer. That would be something where people would see it and go, what the fuck? Hit the like button. Let's get to 60 likes. I will stop the stream when we get to 60 likes. I will be wearing a leather outfit of some nature. Um, yeah, maybe I'll do the special literally right in the spot where River Phoenix died. Um, we'll get Joaquin Phoenix to do the intro. Are you guys ready? And we will have someone famous bringing me to the stage, whether it be Stephen Piercy or someone, maybe Russell Peters. Maybe we'll do it at Russell Peters' house. Uh, I think assless chaps, or maybe the skin. Did we just have two people take away their likes? You a-holes. That is rude. But the just like Paradise Video, he had some nice chaps on then. And what was it? The Little Ain't Enough video. That's the last great David Lee Roth video. No, I'm not dressing like Michael Jackson. Thank you very much. No, thank you. All right, you kids. Thank you very much. Earl Skakel, Thursday night in the Earlverse. I love you all. We'll see you tomorrow night.